the Independence Trophy there as we take a look at the grid. And it's the Italian and the Brazilian on the front row, led by Rafael Marciello, Augusto Farfus, then the German, Maro Engel, and Eduardo Mortara, Earl Bamber, and Lauren Van Tor. Then Robin Frins and Christopher Haas. On the next row, in 9th position, it's Dries Van Tor and Matthew Jaminet. There they are. Jaminet starting on the outside in the Craft Bamboo Racing, a huge team here in Asia. And behind them, Imperatori and Adelaide Fong. Then comes Oliver Jarvis. Can they come through, I wonder, in the KCMG team? And alongside him, his teammate, Matsuda, who's raced a lot of laps around the circuits of Japan in Super GT. And then just behind them in 15th position at the back, which is kind of ironic because Darrell O'Young doesn't deserve to start any race from the back. But he will do today, but don't think for 1 minute that Darrell O'Young, the winner of the first ever GT race here, will be any slouch around this circuit. And I think your point about this being a clean race, if Darrell O'Young is the least qualified, and I wouldn't say worst on the grid because he's not, it just shows you the quality of this field.
It's a pretty high level,
he's a former winner here.
Yeah, exactly. The car on the back of the grid is a former winner, so I think you get a good idea of the class. We were just looking at Robin Frins. He couldn't be more laid back if he tried. A very, very able driver. Final word with the team from BMW Team Schnitzer for the Brazilian, Augusto Farfus. He was getting quite a few high fives and handshakes in the paddock yesterday after qualifying. I think he wanted to be there, though. Pole position.
The start of this race is going to be interesting because we heard from Farfus yesterday that in a straight line, his BMW is a missile. And it's just on the mountain section that he's not as quick. And so that's where he made the time, and he will plan to do that in the race. And, of course, there is always the chance to get a bit of a slipstream as well. But these guys don't play for fun, and there won't be a lot of trailblazing and following allowed in this one because they know all too well the game, especially this man. Looking for 7, Eduardo Mortara. It's an incredible scene. In a few moments' time, we'll see Rob Huff in action, who's already won 9 in touring cars alone.
It looks like he's having sort of 40 winks before the start of the race, doesn't he?
Good way to feel. Look at him. Just look at that inhalation and exhale. He's just totally cool.
But he does feel that there's unfinished business here at Macau. After last year, I think his pace rather showed that he was going to take a win. And this weekend for BMW, if Augusto Farfus can give Charlie Lamb, the man that for so many years has been at the helm of Schnitzer Motorsport, such a famous team worldwide. Charlie's here this weekend.
Yes, he is. Saw him on the pit wall.
Final weekend at the helm of the team. He's taking a back seat next year.
Yeah, I would argue that Schnitzer have been probably coming here back, what, 30 years?
Yeah, it's amazing. And Charlie loves this place. So I think it'll be emotional if Augusto can hand BMW and Schnitzer in turn a nice result this weekend. He was close last year. I think he came second in the qualification race last year, did Augusto. He's smiling. It's key to get things underway. Robin Frins for Audi.
So an important warm-up lap. Everybody just finding first gear as we go on board. Glowcam bringing us fantastic shots of what it's like to be part of a motor racing race for the World Cup of GTs.
3 of this field conduct a full season of manufacturer supported DTM racing. Eduardo Mortara has just completed his 2nd year in DTM. Robin Frins for Audi in DTM, and Augusto Farfus since 2012 for BMW in DTM, German touring cars.
Yeah, he's a busy lad, Eduardo. He's done a bit of Formula E as well. He got 13th in the 2017-18 series and a 3rd in the 24 Hours of Spa. So as well as that team, that's a little bit too much smoke going on the back there. What's going on here? Somebody, it's one of the Nissans, has just gone up in smoke.
Oh dear, oh dear.
Oh, what a shame. That is terminal, I'm afraid, I think. That is not a good look. So yellow flags flying already. So drama indeed at the start of this 12-lap formation lap. And that Nissan is going. It's sadly Matsuda, top Nissan drivers in the world. Matsuda looks as though he's been dragged off the circuit and out of this race.
Well, lots of marshals have run on to assist the wheeling off.
Well, the good news is there is a way of getting it off the track way before anybody comes around to take their position on the track, because there's a whole fence just there. Taken out of the way. But what a shame, Nissan bringing 3 factory cars to this weekend's race. Now
And we have to ask the question as well, has that deposited anything nasty on the circuit? We will. The car is now just coming up to the gap in the wall. They've got it out of the way, but maybe a quick inspection. That's what they're going to do now, is have a quick look over the time. That's okay.
So meanwhile, the rest of the field, including the last place man, Darrell Young, in the resplendently painted BLT colours. Black. I've had a few more this weekend. Ever without drama. It all builds up. It's the qualifying race, remember, so it's all about finishing position. You don't have to be a hero in this one. You just need to be ready. You don't want to get into a mess and fight too early. Powder dry, get ready for the World Cup final, so to speak. This is just the first half.
Good question. Do you want me to answer it with my brain or my heart?
Both.
Okay, well, I'm going to answer with my heart and keep my brain to myself. I'm going to say Christoph Farkas for Charlie Lang, BMW in Schnitzer.
I'm going to answer with my brain and go Maro Engel.
I think we both have value in our choices.
You can see the little dirt and dust down there from some oil from previous races. It's been a bit of a mess. Thankfully, most of this ride up about an hour or so ago when they came out with a great shot. That is looking back at the streets. Just like Monaco, the sound of these beautiful GT cars will echo across the buildings here at Macau. And of course, there's big screens all around the city as everybody tunes in to what this is truly become a festival of colour and noise. And this, the 65th running of the Macau Grand Prix. And as always, it's a combination of GT, touring cars, motorcycles, and headed by F3, of course. Here we go then. A rolling start, and that means that Farfus got to get the jump if he can. And interestingly enough, Marciello is on the inside compared to Formula 3, which is outside of distinction. Here we go then, side by side, Marciello leads them away. Farfus has got away well, and it's side by side as they go through the first turn. And Farfus has got a brilliant start, and he's kept onto it. It's side by side, a drag race here, down towards Mandarin. Who's going to flinch first? I think Farfus may well have got the lead. Here comes, oh no! Oh, this is going to be a big off! Oh no, that is Vantor, and it's another repeat of a similar accident he had a few years ago. That surely will stop proceedings here. Meanwhile, Farfus has gone through in the BMW to lead this race.
Farfus got a brilliant start, absolutely superb start. Brave, wheel to wheel, side by side, and he kept his line, and he kept his nerve, and he got the lead.
Safety car is pulled out, so we will slow things down and just get the heartbeats back down again after that very horrific moment there for Vantor. You can see it was an accident about to happen. He jinked to the outside, and once he got touched, he was a passenger. And that's a real shame for him. He got a good start, to be fair, so as we stand, it's Marciello, Farfus, Engel, Mortana, Bamba. No real change at the front. Don Vantor is the man who was in trouble. He was 6th place before slamming into the wall. And that will move Robin Frins up. I'd like to have another look at that because, yes, well, why don't we look at it with him? Oh, actually, no, we've got the bird's eye view.
Robin.
Yeah, and backwards into the Mandarin. And that's not a way to go. That's a very, very fast one. Now, here we go.
Now
Well,
we see.
okay, so it was a concertina effect, and ironically, it was caused, if you like, by Earl Bamber, teammate to Laurent Vantor, who was just jostling for position with the Mercedes, and I think effectively of Mortara, and was trying to sort of give himself some room, so he kind of came across on Mortara, who then moved out of the way and then hit Domino.
Domino effect.
I'm afraid Porsche have no one to blame but themselves a little bit there. I don't think anybody's to blame. It's just a racing incident, but that's what happened either way, and it looks as though no harm, no foul to both the Porsche of Bamber and of Mortara. So they've got away with it, but sadly Vantor has not.
The two Porsche drivers were sparring on Twitter this morning. I don't think that either one of them would have predicted that that kind of effect would happen at the start of the qualification race, because, as we said during the Formula 3 race, qualification race can damage a whole weekend.
Great start from Farfus, though.
Super.
Yeah, and it's interesting, Marcello taking the inside line. I'm not so sure, because on F3 it's the opposite.
Over wheel to wheel. And, Augusto had to brave it out, hold the line, and take the win.
So everybody trying to keep the heat in those tyres, and there's the sadly forlorn LKM sponsored Matheny entered factory Porsche of Laurent Vantor.
That's a very sorry state, isn't it?
And is my memory serving me right that it was Vantor who had a massive off right there a couple of years ago and was ended upside down in an Audi?
Climbed the fence, came down on its roof, and was deemed to have won the race with the result going back one lap.
He's not going to have fond memories of Mandarin, is he?
No. And he still gets multiple comments and jokes
now
made.
Mortara and Bamber are under investigation because of that incident. Now, I can understand why.
Yep.
And obviously it has ruined Vantor's race, regardless of roommates or teammates, the kind of thing. Roommates certainly in the paddock, but you know, even though they're teammates, obviously Bamber wasn't thinking about Vantor when he and Mortara were jostling. That's who's under investigation. Mortara and Bamber, causing effectively Vantor to leave this race.
Race leader Augusto Farfus, hugely experienced in so many different disciplines of racing, but as you rightly say, for so many years now, the world's BMW driver, plying his trade all the way around the world in this car, the GC3 BMW M6. Of course, BMW M8 this year. It's Le Mans 24 hours and the return of BMW to Le Mans this year. One of two cars, two BMW M8s that competed at Le Mans this year. This one, the BMW M6, a proven package.
Safety car will be in this lap, so we're going to be racing again. Farfus will now lead the way, and now Marcello has to react well. What will Mortara do? What will Engel do? Bamber's got a chance here. He's under investigation at the moment.
So, with the safety car coming in this lap, we have a slightly depleted field.
Now, watch this. Here it comes. This is from Mortara, right? Watch Vantor here. He comes up the inside. This is towards Mandarin. Touch. That's what happened. And out he goes. And then whack. But Mortara was also jolted from left to right. And so it's 6 of one, half a dozen of the other. I don't really know. But that's a wonderful view of it. Looking back from Eduardo Mortara. But graphic illustration of Vantor's going out of this race.
It's for the stewards to decide. It's been referred.
So, as you can see, the safety car have been turned off. We'll be racing again. It's the Brazilian who leads the way. Brazil versus Italy in the World Cup final. First half. Qualification race for the FIA GT World Cup. And it's Augusto Farfus in BMW, taking on 3 Mercedes behind him. Now, can he get away before they all catch him? Start to accelerate. Away he goes, green flag waves, and away goes the BMW. And the Mercedes have started well. Beautiful sight and sound here in Macau. battle for position. Mortara looks to the inside, can't get through. Bamba just behind. Through Mandarin they go. No problem so far, but Barber's pulling away. Here comes Bamba on Mortara, who's right there with him. He comes alongside him. Can't quite do it. Under braking, will he get through? No, Mortara defends. Great stuff. But Farfus is through, and he's gone. Look at him go. He said he was good in the first sector. He's really proving it too. Back up the hill to San Francisco they go. Farfus leads this race from Marchiello. Then it's Engel, Mortara holding off Bamba. Frins is still 6th, Haas 7th, and Vantor, Dries that is in 8th.
Well, I don't know if you noticed, but Augusto Farfus really did control that restart. He wanted to have a little bit longer to weave the car from side to side to get the tyres up to temperature. It looks like it's paid off.
He went very late, which is unusual.
Yeah,
you have a chance as soon as really on the back straight as you come into our bend to accelerate away and get the whole use of that corner. And he just teased them a little and held on for the last moment, then accelerated away, and that's all he needed. And I think he was judging the fact that he is faster in a straight line than anybody else, but this is where he's somewhat precarious because he has to got the same kind of speed here in the hill section of Macau. They come down the hill towards Moorish Hill.
2 Mercedes, 3 Mercedes and a Porsche in 2nd, 3rd and 4th places, with Augusto Farfus in BMW right at the front of the field. They've only got one. At the moment, they only need one.
Yeah, the Shell-sponsored Thank You Charlie car, calling it, because it says Thank You Charlie Lamb on the side of the car. And Charlie would love nothing more than to see him win. There's that oil spray down there where you can see the dust. I don't think it's causing any problems right now. So now he'll stretch his legs again in the BMW. It's a good start from Farfus, a brilliant restart by the Brazilian. Now can he capitalise on it in the M6 GT3? Let's take a look at his times, because he set 2 fastest split times in that restart. Good lap time coming out of this. He crosses the line now. His lap time of 2:19.3, and that is almost half a second quicker than anything else, and he's taken a gap of 1 second away from the rest of the chasing Mercedes. Porsche still in the hunt as we look back at Earl Bamba in the yellow and red. Beautiful shots through Mandarin. Thanks to the Glowcam, the boys from Australia doing a brilliant job of showing us what it's like to race around the streets. Down past the main grandstand and into Lisboa. The Lisboa corner has been tightened this year. There's a much better and easier apex, and everybody's using the track now. Faster through there, unlike
Augusto Farfus has got the world to himself at the moment. He's just put in the fastest first sector. The BMW was quick in that first sector yesterday. It is at the start of this lap as well. And that's because he isn't having to defend. He's got that advantage just over 1 second at the end of the last lap. And that's really playing into the hands of the race leader. Everybody else very busy, not wanting to make a mistake, not wanting to open a door for a pursuing Mercedes or Porsche. But the BMW is on his own.
Yeah, and as you say, he was almost half a second quicker at that first split. The second split, again, another 3/10 quicker than Marchiello behind him. And Marchiello's had the big story of the weekend, to be honest, in the 999, because, as we look at Maro Engel, but the 999 you're looking at right now, hardly had a chance to get through that, I think, in 3 rounds, simply because they couldn't get round the Melco hairpin, which is coming up at the moment. And he just, every time he got to it, he stopped. And so they had to literally try to re-rig the car, which is very unusual, because Mercedes have raced this car many times to victory here. So it was not the start that Marchiello wanted to qualify for if he turned it on.
It's an incredibly tight hairpin, the Melco hairpin. No overtaking, not surprisingly. You wouldn't be able to, even if you were allowed to. But of course, it forms up part of the road network here. And the Melco hairpin, when you stand there, when it's not a racetrack, you just think, no, surely not. They do.
Farfus crosses the line again. The gap was 1.092, and it now increases to 1.7. So he is on the mark. 2:18.1, the fastest lap again by some 7/10 of a second. He is absolutely flying and setting purple sectors all around the track is Farfus. Even in some of the slower sectors for the BMW, he's fast, but he knew he was fast in the first and last sectors in qualifying, and that's what he's playing on. And now, here we go, Maro Engel starting to challenge on his fellow Mercedes driver. I knew that Maro wouldn't sit around behind Marciello for too long, and I say that because Maro is a former winner here, and he can see drifting off into the distance BMW, and that's not the plan for Mercedes, is it?
Certainly not when they come with the kind of lineup that they've brought here to Macau this weekend. They've come with only one intention: to make sure they win the GT World Cup tomorrow. And a hugely talented three-car entry for Mercedes-Benz this weekend could potentially have put them, before the weekend got underway, as clear favourites. But we've had all of these other unknowns thrown into the mix this weekend, including the single entry with BMW. Schnitzer, Augusto Farfus.
As we go on board with Mortara, you can see the problem. He's chasing down Engel as Engel chases down Marciello, but of course there's just nowhere to overtake, and if Mortara were risking an overtake here, you can't overtake here, it's a full yellow coming up down this straight, but yeah, in this whole mountain section you literally have to wait. Now, as he comes to the exit of this, Mortara's got his first chance, but as you can see, as he struggles to get past Engel, Bamba and Frins are catching.
So we're going quickly in different sectors. So Eduardo Mortara on this lap has gone overall best in sector 1. Augusto Farfus overall best in sector 2. Maro Engel overall best in sector 3, and they're about to complete sector 4. So it just gives you an idea of how these cars are suited to different areas of the circuit. Interesting, that.
Yeah, the gap was 1.7 seconds, and now it's 2.6. Great stuff from Farfus. He is dominating this race and taking the fight to the mighty Mercedes, who dominated this race over the last few years. Last year's winner, Eduardo Mortara, Laurent Vantor before that, and Maro Engel, both in 14 and in 15. So, BMW really taking it to their German partners in the fight for the World Cup. Such prestige for both the drivers and the manufacturers. They so want to win this one because it's the last race, the last hurrah of the year.
Okay, well, the incident between Eduardo Mortara and El Bamba is... I'm pretty sure it was the El Bamba car. It only flashed up on the screen. Will be investigated after the race, not now. So we won't get the results until after the race is complete.
Yeah, they're saying, yeah, okay. Well, actually, actually, the official line is it's an investigation. Bamba hasn't been drawn into this because it's actually Vantor and number 1. So they're saying that it's only between those two. And obviously, Vantor is the one that's out. So it really is Mortara who is the question mark, so to speak. Now, what will happen, therefore, is that for the actual final race of GTs of the year tomorrow, it could be that Mortara may be penalised. We'll see when they investigate. So what might happen, Mortara might have to start further back, is my guess, from why they're leaving the line. So race goes on, and whatever Mortara does right now is A-OK.
Fastest lap of the race still with race leader Augusto Farfus at 2:18.066 and 2:18.066. Mortara has gone quickest in the first sector, as he did on the previous lap. Maro Engel has gone quickest overall in the second sector. He's down there in third place. BMW, as you say, 2.5 seconds just over the advantage at the conclusion of lap number 5. And look at it. You can see the amount of daylight between the BMW and the Mercedes, both of whom have been competing actively against each other in DTM. Mercedes have left DTM this year. They leave as champions as well, with Gary Paffett taking his second title in the German Touring Car Championship.
Well, as the race continues, they are taking a couple of tenths now and again. Maro Engel there with a 2:18.023, the fastest lap, just 2 tenths quicker than the leader. So Maro Engel trying to stay on level terms with Farfus as Marciello in second place. We're on board with Maro Engel. They dive into Lisboa, and try as they might at the moment, the GT fans around the world tuning in, we welcome you to what is a fascinating game of chess at over 150 miles an hour through the streets of Macau, and it's being led by the Brazilian Augusto Farfus in the BMW. with all the might of Mercedes behind, and then followed by Porsche, then Audi. So all the top 9, I should say, are all German manufacturers, and then in 10th place, it's Nissan, who've already lost one of their mighty warriors. Sadly, Matsuda not making the start, going up in smoke before the race even started.
Marciello going quickly in Sector 2, putting the overall best in Sector 2, a 41.3. In the second sector is the second place car, number 999 Mercedes, just shortly ahead of this battle between Mauro Engel and Eduardo Mortara.
Battles going on throughout, and there's a good battle in midfield too. Dries Van Toor, Jaminet, Peratore and Adelaide Fong still going strong in 11th position, but we're really queuing in on this battle for second and third. Sorry, for third and fourth, I should say, between Mauro Engel and Eduardo Mortara. And you can see how close Mortara is getting as they exit the Melco hairpin. And now coming down the hill, we go on board with Edo, Mr. Macau as he's known, down towards Fisherman's. A wonderful corner, blind entry, hard on the accelerator on the exit. Jackie Stewart went off there back in the day. Race of Champions. Don't want to do that there. Luckily there's a wall there now. And then the last corner, imperative to get good drive out of here if you want to try and make a move down at Lisboa. But of course Mortara, as you can see, not close enough this time.
Raffaele Marciello puts in the fastest lap of the race at the conclusion of lap number 7, a 2:17.9, and that brings down the gap by a couple of tenths between himself and Augusto Farfus. At 2.4 second advantage Augusto has got in the BMW at the end of 7 laps, 5 to go.
Yeah, Engel's actually losing valuable time. There's no question that Marciello is the only man who can seriously go after Farfus with 5 laps to go. And now Engel's got to worry about Mortara, Bamba and Prince in the closing stages of this one. On board with Farfus. Look how cool he looks. He's just dancing to the samba beat.
He always looks incredibly cool. He's a very popular driver as well as he walks around the paddock. Time to just lift the visor, which had dropped just a little bit for the Brazilian. Splendid family man as well, a young daughter, and Augusto Farfus racing in every corner of the world with BMW, and not surprisingly just loves the opportunity that he has with BMW Motorsport.
Look how quickly he glances in the mirrors. Very, very, very quick, just to see where the competition is. There's no change behind him, as he just needs to keep that gap, and you can see BMW huddling around Charlie in the middle. Grey head and Charlie Lamb, such an institution here. There's plenty of statues around Macau. They should build one for Charlie, I think. Down towards Melco again. Mortara still putting a lot of pressure on Mauro Engel, and Marciello, although he's going quick, is not losing Engel by that much, is he? 2:17.9, the fastest lap of the race last time out, but all 3 Mercedes are still fighting amongst each other, but Farfus is pulling away, and the gap 2.4. I'd be interested to see if he's extended that on this lap. But it was 2.4 seconds. Farfus comes out of the last corner, half end again. Here's a far bend. Rothmans. And 4 laps to go. Exactly 2.8 seconds, so he's taken 4 tenths off the Mercedes boys in that last lap, and that's good work. Bamba struggling to stay with the Mercedes down in 5th place, and Robin Prince behind him. So really, it's now a case of whether any of the Mercedes can take each other off, but I think, given it's a factory entry, given there's another race to come, Mercedes will not do anything silly here. Marciello may try to catch Farfus, but I don't think the Mercedes will try and battle with each other and just stay where they are to get a good starting position to start the second.
Yeah, let's not forget, let's not get carried away. This is a qualification race, so anything can happen tomorrow in the World Cup, and that's the one that really matters. This can cause damage, it already has for Laurens Van Toor, because, of course, this qualification race means he will not qualify well for tomorrow.
Well, he'll start at the back. I'm sure he'll start, but he'll be starting at the back. Whoa! Oh! My name is just hit the wall, almost did. on the S's there, but lives to fight another day, so to speak, here at Macau, and Earl Bamber knows it all too well.
Maybe just a brush.
May well have been. It might have been a wind mirror. Either way, look at Mortara now. He's right there, isn't he? Bamber pushing on. I'm interested to see how quick this lap is, but Mortara looks as though, I said Mercedes was going to stay in position, but Mortara might just try to get one more position up. Because, of course, if anything goes wrong, Mortara is the kind of guy who is such an optimist and such an opportunist that he knows, even though he's fighting with his teammates, that if he can put himself in a position to get on a podium, he will. He's currently in fourth position.
As we say, Charlie Lamb at the helm of Schnitzer Motorsport, and their association with BMW Motorsport is taking a back seat in the team for next year. And how good would it be to take another top step of the podium, yet another here at Macau for Charlie Lamb. He loves this place, loves coming here.
First we'll look at the Nissans, here they are. And this Nissan of 10th position, Imperatori. Alexander doing a good job for the factory Nissan team, coming for the first time here. So they haven't got the background, if you will, that the other cars have got.
Augusto Farfus has turned the wick up, 2:17.987. That last lap was the best lap, overall best lap of the race. 3 laps to go. So the race leader,
total domination,
he's controlling this beautifully, isn't he?
Yeah, I mentioned the fact that he won here twice in World Touring cars. Well, this is his 3rd visit in GTs, and his best finish has been 4th in 2017. The last year he was 4th, the year before that he was here in 2014. In 14 it is, he was 5th place, and so this would be his best result, but it would be so much more than that, because for Charlie Lamb and the Schnitzer team, who only started coming back recently to Macau after a long period away, lone entry from BMW, and the odds are stacked against you when you take on the mighty Mercedes team, who have 3 very quick former winners, and it's quite a tough task, but Farfus and the Schnitzer team have been up to that task, and at the moment they're taking it to Mercedes and showing why this car is the best.
And at the moment BMW will be saying, well, we only needed one, that's why we only bought one. We bought a great driver, we bought a great car, tried and tested car. We don't need 2, we don't need 3, we just need Augusto in the number 42 car, and at the moment he's doing a beautiful job. 2 pivotal moments for Augusto. The start was absolutely brilliant, he was brave and he held it, and also the restart.
Yeah, the restart was actually the key for me, because that's where the others could have pounced, especially into Lisboa, but he just waited for the last possible moment and altered away into the distance, and he's continuing to do that. Michel Mann crosses the line again. He's still got the fastest lap, 2:17.9, and this time at 2:18.7, so he's knocked it off a bit, but the gap is already 3.7 seconds, so with 2 laps to go, no need for any heroics, just bring it home, son.
The distinctive kidney grills of the BMW M6 just go out of shot before we have the 3 Mercedes, the lone Porsche, Earl Bamber, a little bit detached now from the battling 3 Mercedes. Perhaps at Macau, not being led in the order that you would maybe bet on before the race started. It's Marciello, Engel and Mortara, the 3rd of the Mercedes. And Mortara potentially got some administration work to do after this, with the stewards looking into that incident at the start of the race.
Earl Bamber and the challenge from the factory Porsches not really coming to fruition. Obviously Vantor taken out early, but Bamber really not able to make any inroads in this race. Probably decided to just finish where he is right now. You're not going to get past 3 Mercedes in 2 laps, that's for sure, and if you do, well, it would be both a miracle and probably a little too risky.
Robin Frintz not able to shine, down there in 6th place in the Audi. He was quick at the outset in free practice this weekend, but at the moment he's still the front-running Audi, but he's down there in 6th place.
13 cars left. Darrell Young in 13th place, having started at the back. Laurent Vantor going out, and likewise Matsuda not starting the race. So we're down to 13 and we're down to 2 laps, just less than now. And this has been an absolute brilliant display by BMW. When you look at the history of BMW at this event, and that's the Macau Grand Prix across the board, well, Charles Kwan, Emanuele Pirro, the Watsons BMWs, the Schnitzer BMWs in the factory colours. It's been a catalogue. Steve Soper, you name it. Anybody else you can think of? Oh, how about 3 world championships for Andy Priaulx? Yeah, I mean, BMW have, well, you know, if you look through the history books, synonymous at winning here at Macau. It's been a while. Now they are in a great position to do it again with Butts.
Potentially emotional result this is going to be, you know, for Augusto Farfus, for BMW, for Schnitzer Motorsport.
Oh yeah, we'll see some tears.
And Charlie Lamb. Yeah, absolutely.
And why and who is Charlie Lamb? Well, he's the team leader of the Schnitzer BMW team from Germany, who are effectively the factory representatives in racing for BMW. Wherever they race, they have eventually, whether they started by winning straight away or they've taken their time. Once they get to a winning way, they never look back. They seem to just dominate once they get it all dialed in, and they're doing that here today with Augusto Farfus, who puts the fastest split in on the very last lap. What a way to go. 23.061, and he is taking it to them, coming through towards Maternity Bend for the last time. Here he is, the M6, resplendent. It's just a walk in the park, isn't it?
He does always have a very cool look about him when he's...
So does Charlie.
Steering the car around. Yeah, Charlie looking at the screens, proud of Augusto and what Augusto has done thus far. That was close to the barrier, or it looked close to the barrier. This is the final lap for the BMW number 42. Nearly took pole. It was just wrestled away from him right at the last call yesterday in qualifying, but the qualification race has been absolutely dominated by the Brazilian.
Well, Alan Hyde, as you quite rightly predicted, besides that one incident, this has been a very clean race, and it's certainly been that way for Augusto Farfus. He had to take on a restart, but he did that with aplomb and has never looked back as he dives through the Melco for the last time. You can see the gap for yourself. Over 3 seconds to the chasing Mercedes. Bamba's caught right up to the 3 Mercedes, but I don't think he'll get past any of them. He may, but he's only got a couple of corners, and these next 3 corners coming up. Here comes your leader, Augusto Farfus. The Samba ringing out for him, and fans of GT racing and BMW around the world, and I know they're tuning in, can celebrate with BMW because they've done it again at Macau. Schnitzer win with Augusto Farfus. Thank you, Charlie. Thank you, Augusto Farfus Jr. A win then for Charlie, and yes, the emotion says it all.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Wonderful shot, well done. And Marciello crosses the line in 2nd place, and there's the emotion we predicted. Engel takes 3rd place, the former winner. Mortara is in 4th place. Earl Bamber does a great job to finish 5th, ahead of Robin Frins. Haas, Vantor, Jaminet 9th. Imperatori down crossing the line, 10th position. And it'll be Adelaide Fong, Oliver Jarvis, Darrell O'Young. That's how it finished. A great day for BMW.
What a wonderful story. What a wonderful, wonderful story. Augusto Farfus, emotional as he crossed the line in the car, and he knows that's what it means to this team, such a tightly knit team.
Never easy to choreograph a swan song. Ask Wayne Rooney. No goals for him in his adieu. Not for Charlie. Charlie Lamb gets what he wanted in the World Cup. It is an absolute win. One BMW on the grid, taking on the rest of the manufacturers from around the world. The very best. And part 1, first half, goes to the Schnitzer BMW team. Augusto Farfus Jr. of Brazil. You know, and as Hyundai and many other friends of Charlie, there isn't a person down pit lane that won't shake his hand. He is an absolute institution here, and well loved by everyone at Macau. Write the history books. Charlie should have several chapters to his own name, and it's always been an emotional roller coaster, win or lose. Yeah. And That is his third win. Did you notice?
Isn't it wonderful seeing the emotion? And this is all before he's reunited with Charlie Lamb down in pit lane. A friend of mine told me this morning that he spoke to Charlie Lamb and there was a tear in Charlie's eye when he was having a chat to him. Well, there'll be more than that now. Can celebrate with his driver on the top step of the podium. Look how many people are so pleased for him.
Yeah, everybody's coming out of the woodwork to shake his hand. And that's what Macau is all about. You know, we've all been coming here for many years, and we all go through the trials and tribulations, the emotional roller coaster, the work that goes in. This is not an easy race to prepare for. For most of the competitors here, they're racing from Europe, travelling a long way, going overtime, working through the night to get to this stage. 12 laps then, Farfus with the win. Marcello, the pole man, second. Maro Engel, former winner, third. Mortara, 6 wins and 4th place this time. Earl Bamber, Robin Frins, Christopher Haas, and Vantor. Dries Vantor taking his first and debut 8th position here for Audi Sport. Good result for him. But this is only part 1, remember. In 9th, Jaminet, Matthew Jaminet with a sprained foot for Craft Bamboo. Imperatori in 10th position. Adley Fong in 11th, the Hong Kong driver. Oliver Jarvis coming back to Macau in 12th, and Darrell Young finishing out in 13th position with a no finish for Laurent Vantor.
And I think they're rather new. We've not really seen the hand shown until today.
Let's take a look back at some of the highlights of the FIA GT World Cup Part 1. A brilliant start from Farfus. That was the big moment. And a little tap from Mortara as he jostled for position with Bamber. Vantor pays the price, sadly. Hope he's okay. That's what Robin Frins saw. Look at this. It's almost, well, it's not far off the same kind of crash that he had a couple of years ago and ended up, of course, upside down and slid all the way down. Fantastic stuff. Well, Mercedes did a good job. They kept themselves in the pace and kept away Porsche's challenge from Earl Bamber, which is fairly mighty. Earl Bamber knows his way around here.